This is your swing coach Maninder, Instagram channel Golf with Maninder, and today I have a swing analysis, a very interesting one. He's a beginner golfer from Scotland, and I just got a DM from him, and he sent me his videos. And I'm doing a lot of free swing analysis till the launch of my website. So, guys, stay tuned for the website and keep sending me the DMs of your videos so that I can help you out with your golf game. So let's start the analysis. Setup looks decent. Let me just play the swing for you guys. That's the down the line view, and let's see from front on. That's the front on swing. So let's start the analysis. Let's start the analysis from down the line. So the takeaway goes a little outside. So it's outside takeaway. It's going outside the plane. But rest I like the triangle together. But if we just see, we don't see any hip movement in the takeaway. So just see this area of the hips. The hips have not turned in the takeaway. So first point, so just keep on noting the points. You can have a diary and a pen. So the first point is, when you take this club back, I want the club going a little towards the target line this way. So I'll just put an arrow there, this way. But your club is going outside that target line. So try to take the club along the ground and just straight in a straight line behind the ball rather than going too much outside. And make sure your body and your hips are also turning in that takeaway. So that would be a one-piece takeaway for you. So I hope you've understood the point, because right now it's just the arms which are going outside, too much outside, and there's no body movement. So now after that, since you've gone too much outside, then you feel that you need to get the club around. So what you do is, like, you start getting the arms very much around, so this way. So look at the direction of the club now, it's going this way, but it's very much around. So the vertical action of the club is missing in your swing. So we need some vertical action of the club. And because you go so much around, look at this position of the right arm. There we go, that's very deep. So it's a very deep position. It's way too much around and away from the ball. And let's see from front on what are the mistakes happening. Again, outside takeaway, then you try to take it too much around, and there is no wrist hinge right now in this area. So from this part to this part, I don't see much wrist hinging, and the club is going too much around. So I want from this, when the club is parallel to the ground, till the left hand parallel, I want to see, I'll show you from down the line, from club parallel position to left hand parallel position, I want to see the club a little more vertical. So let's get that club a little more vertical, and let's start using more wrist, and let's keep that right elbow close to the in front of the chest. So these are the things you have to take care of. So since you go too much around and you turn your shoulder so much, look at that, look at the shoulder turn, it's way too much for iron. It's about 120 plus degrees, and because of that, your spine is pointing in that direction towards the target. So there is a reverse pivot going on. So I'll just make a line there, that's a reverse pivot going on. The spine is too much like this. So I hope you're understanding. Because of the shoulder rotation and the arms going very deep, you're going towards the target. So this is a left-sided stacked swing. So it means let's remove all the line now. You are stacking towards your left side instead of loading on the right side. So now, since you're very left-sided and you have very deep arms, what you try to do, you get those arms, try to get those arms back in front of you. And since you are so deep, you have to do so much of hard work getting those arms in front of you. You don't start your downswing with your hips. Instead, you start your downswing with your upper body and your arms pulling the club towards in front of you. Because of that, what is happening is, if I make a touch line here, because of the too much active upper body and the arms in the transition, instead of the lower body turning and sliding, uh, we see your hips are going away from the touch line. So see, your hips and the body is moving into the ball, because your mind is very intelligent. You want to get those arms in front of you, you move into the ball, and now you're closer to the ball. So now, since you're closer to the ball, again you start jumping. Instead of turning your hips, you try to jump and create some space. And when you jump and create some space, you get inconsistent contacts. And since you're closer to the ball, you hit the ball with your toe most of the times. So and if you just see your finish, look at it again. You try to use your hips, but just to get your club in front of you, as it is very deep, your arms and upper body do a lot of hard work in the transition. And if you see the good players, their spine is tilted backwards. They don't do anything with the hands. It's only the hips are turning and they transfer the weight. But in your case, I can see a very active upper body, lot of arm movement towards this way to get the club in front. And also you lose that 90-degree angle of your wrist. So there's this casting going on. So all the bad things are happening just because you go very deep and you have a reverse pivot. If you correct both the things, all these things will start getting better. And now, since you are so steep, you try to make some space, you try to get up, and when you try to get up, you do a little flip also with your wrist. So now I hope you understand why you have that toe hit, because you are so much on your left side and you're so deep with your arms. When you try to correct it, you tend to go towards the ball, and then you jump and make some space. So it's a lot of compensation. And look at that, there is no extension in the arms right now. So arms need to extend there. Arms are not extending because hips have stalled. Hips have not turned that much, and the weight has not gone too much towards the left side. Because if you have a good hip turn and weight transfer, then you get good automatic extension. So I hope you've understood the mistakes you're doing. Let me just revise it, how you can correct it now. Make sure you keep your spine back at setup. Make sure when you go back, instead of arms going too much outside and no hips turning and no upper body turning, just with the arms you are picking up the club, start turning the body, arms, and everything together, and start taking that club straight in line of the target instead of going outwards. And then once you reach this parallel position there, the club parallel position, try to use your wrist, and your right elbow should start bending, and instead of going inside, you should go upwards. And keep maintaining that spine tilt to the right. And then when you should go upwards, your spine should not point towards that way, it should point rightwards. Your head should be behind the ball. So do these changes, and then in the downswing, try to keep your arms in front of your chest. And since your arms would be in front of your chest and they would be little more vertical than rotational, you can start your downswing with your hips, turn and slide, keeping your head behind, and then you will see your arms fall in a better position there, and then you can really release your club with a lot of extension. I hope it helped you a lot, and I'll try to explain you some points what you can do right by using a professional swing after this. I would like to clarify some points which I talked about in your swing, what good things you can do using Adam Scott model. So let's see what he does. So I was also talking about the takeaway. Remember that club, I told you to take the club along the target line. So more in line of the target line this way rather than going outside. And if you see at this moment, you see a good shoulder turn and you also see a good hip turn. So everything is going together. So see this shoulder also have turned and the left knee has come out. So it means everything is going together. So try this takeaway and then from here your club needs to go this way. Arms and the club needs to go vertical up while the body keeps on turning. And look at his spine. Just you have to keep a view on his spine also. Oh, so that's the spine. That's the spine away from the target. And when he goes back, that look, keep looking at that spine. It always stays right. The head is always staying behind this line. So keep this in mind. Keep that spine tilt, and then once you reach the club parallel. So let me go on the club parallel position there. So once you reach on this position, just one sec, yeah. So once you reach the club parallel position there, try to lift the club up vertically, and the arms are lifting upwards rather than going too much around. Look at that. So the shaft is pointing down rather than pointing this way. So make sure your arms are lifting up and you are using your wrists early. Look at that 90-degree wrist angle Adam Scott has made so early in the swing. And then from there, he takes that 90-degree angle straight upwards in front of the chest. And you just need a 90-degree shoulder turn. Anything more than that in irons is not needed. So after that, look at that, how he's transferring his weight with the hips, and he's not, since his arms are so in front of his chest, he doesn't have to do anything with his arms and the upper body in the transition. So transition is very silent from the arms and the upper body, while all the action is done from the hips downwards. So he turns his hips, he gets the club on plane in the release area, he keeps his spine back, and then he's in a great position. And look at this hips staying on the touch line. He doesn't have to move forward and do any compensation. And now at impact, he can release his arms and get good extension, and he keeps on turning his hips instead of jumping up. So just correct these things and you will see a lot of good changes in your swing. I hope you enjoyed the swing analysis. Stay tuned with Golf with Maninder website, and we are always there to help you out with your golf game. Thank you. Have a nice day.